Welcome to the OCVarsity Gridiron Extra. I'm Jonathan Khamis, filling in for Dan Albano this week. He'll be back next week. Don't worry, everybody.
I hope not. Yeah, it's good.
Carlos Arias to my left, Steve Fryer to my right. And gentlemen, the topic for today's show is who is the leading vote getter, I guess you could call it that, for Coach of the Year. Now, we have a number of candidates, but I'm going to stick with tired and true Bruce Rollinson over at Modern Day. I think he's doing a great job with the Monarchs this season. Of course, he's got talent to work with, but you got to look at guys like Thomas Duarte as game-changing players. Ryan McMahon's doing some big things. In the Trinity League, where, let's face it, it's one of the toughest leagues in all of the country, Modern Day is up there, and I think Bruce Rollinson has a lot to do with that. Carlos, you're going with another direction, maybe a little bit of a surprise team this year, but they're getting it done in the South Coast League, no less.
Yeah, you know what? I really like El Toro coach Rob Frith. He's one of the top young coaches in this county. When he came on a few years ago, I remember sitting down in his office, and he goes, we're going to be building every year. We're going to just get stronger and stronger. I want to build tradition here again like they used to have. And that's exactly what he's done. I mean, he's taken them to the Southwest Division Finals last year. They move into the South Coast League, and people still can't solve the crazy no-huddle offense. Everyone was saying, oh, when they played these bigger teams in the South Coast League, it's not going to happen. They can't run crazy with Connor Manning, and boom, they're going crazy.
It's hard enough for me covering El Toro. Whenever there's a first down, I have to run all the way down, maybe 20, 30 yards down, just to make sure I can catch their next play. That's how fast they are. Steve, another direction, maybe a name that's not as well known, or maybe he is. Go ahead and tell me who he is.
Well, I like Mike Marujo. He's got to get some thought in this thing too. You know, they're 1-9 last year. 5-3 so far this year, and second place in the Empire League. Mike's been there 32 years, and for him to keep it fresh and to get not quit on a team that was 1-9, it would have been easy for him to say forget about it last year, or when he knew that class last year was coming in and was not going to be so hot. But he hung in there and decided, hey, I'm going to give it my best shot with these fellas. Don't know how many more years Michael has left, but he's definitely a candidate for that. A couple other guys that have done pretty good jobs with turning teams around. Aaron Flowers of San Juan Hills. Okay. Terrible team last year. I think they were 1-9 also. They're 7-1 so far, and they're in the thick of it in the really competitive Seaview League. I also like what Randy Thompson's done at Orange High School. Beat previously undefeated Sears from last year. Orange High is above 500. It's late October. It's been a long time since we've been able to say that. I like that guy too. And here's a guy who we made coach of the year 2 years ago, and we like to spread around, not repeat guys in kind of close sequence. But I think when you look at all the defections, injuries, and all the stuff that's been going on at Santa Margarita, Harry Welsh, 40 years of coaching, this might be his best job. In 2010 he was coach of the year. We might have been 2 years early with that, because I think this is Coach Welsh's, one of his finest jobs he's ever had to do, with a lot of stuff going on circling over the head.
Yeah, Stanton out for the year. Yeah. Woolpin's hurting now. Carlos, you had something to say?
Yeah, I was going to say this football meeting at the end of the year, when we're trying to come up with Coach of the Year, is going to be a mess. I think there's going to be, some takedowns. There's going to be some knockdowns, because there's a lot of great candidates, seriously, in Orange County. You can even talk about Dana Hill's coach, Todd Rusinkovich. I mean, you go from 1-5 to now you're on the verge of winning the Seaview League title. Most teams would pack it in. Somehow he was able to rally the troops. That's something to keep in the back of our minds too.
And I got another name that popped in my head too. The coach of Sonora, Paul Coyote over there at Sonora. Okay. They've done pretty well. They beat Buena Park, maybe the number 2 team in that league, in the Freeway League. So I think Paul gets he's got to give him a little handshake off that too. So there's a lot of guys out there. You think about, Doug Case at Foothill, Ansich over at VP. There's a lot of guys.
You didn't do anything to settle this debate. We're just throwing names out there. I mean, come on, what's going on? Who's your legit number 1 guy right now?
My legit number 1 guy right now, I got to go with Rollo, I think. Because I don't know when's the last time we made him coach of the year.
I travesty that if he's never been. I can't believe that, but if that's the case, that's a total travesty.
Well, all he's got to do is win out for the rest of the season, and I'm sure he'll get that long-awaited Coach of the Year award. So many candidates. Who are we going to choose? Be sure to check out OCVarsity.com for the rest of the year, where we've got you covered.